Hello, beautiful friends. So lovely to be with you today. Nutmeg's joining us. I yesterday felt very present and connected to the earth, and today I'm feeling a little bit of a heavier energy. Woke up from dreams feeling that way. My interactions have felt that way, and so I felt called to check in for myself. What is going on with the feminine collective that might be contributing to my own personal feelings today. A lot of times the things that we sense and that we're feeling aren't just ours, so it's always important to zoom out, especially if there wasn't any direct triggers that occurred in your own space or sphere. So my questions today were, what's showing up for the divine feminine right now? And we got the card of Mother Goose. Now, I like to use the inner child cards when it comes to like bigger spiritual lessons going on, or connecting to like the deeper depths within ourselves. They're big cards, right? Big in my head. So Mother Goose is the Empress, and what I get from the Empress and from this is protection, is holding boundaries. She's in a golden egg, and what I get, and she's holding a basket of eggs, which also represents fertility. But what I'm really sensing here is, because we've got the moon and the earth, and what I'm really sensing here is that we, as the divine feminine, are really working to hold down some much firmer boundaries with the masculine and with the world at large. Because the way that we had been navigating hasn't been nurturing us. So when I asked externally how this is showing up, what came was the Queen of Swords. Now, we saw this card in a recent reading a few days ago. So what I feel with this Queen of Swords too, it is still this like holding of boundaries. It's this clear communication. It's cutting through the bullshit and saying, I don't play that way anymore. And I'm never going to play that way again. So while that can be hard to communicate these different levels of truth and different levels of asserting boundaries, it might feel lonely, it might feel scary, it might feel like you're pushing away all things good, the possibility of all things, but really this is this piece. I think I mentioned the other day Lysistrata, the play that's Aristophanes, where all the women withhold sex from the men and to stop the war. And I think that in a way we're just withholding our energy to stop the war. The war with man, the war of not operating from a balanced perspective. Now, I said, how does this affect the feminine as it relates to the masculine? And the card that came out was the Ace of Crystals. Okay, Nutmeg? No, thank you. The Ace of Crystals. So this is a new beginning. Okay, thank you, Nutmeg, for helping with this reading. How interesting. Okay, so, and now I don't, oh, am I holding the card? What? Okay, so, sorry. Pause for brief interruption. Okay, so the Ace of Crystals. This is a new beginning. This is, I was just joking with a friend about the rainbow connection last night. So we're the lovers, the dreamers, and me. That's where we'll find it. So what I kind of find like with this is it does feel like this little masculine been doing the physical work, is finding a deeper presence within themselves, is not mining the earth for resources, but like connecting with the earth for sacredness is what I get here. What's interesting about this card, of course, an ace is always positive and generally brings about new beginnings. So what I see as the feminine continues to clarify her boundaries. I know for myself, it's around communication. I have a lot of patterns in my life of people just dropping off communication and then it not being a reciprocal thing. And then I hold a lot of space, I give a lot of compassion, and then it never comes back around, or it never gets full, and then I get burnt out or exhausted because I've held all the space, but like my journey isn't being held at all. And we're intended to be in reciprocal relationships. We're not meant to just be these infinite space holders, holding the fruits of potential. What I also like about the, relation of these two cards of spiritual lessons, like this, there is like a fertility element also to this. It's like, we're bridging, what they call it, like the new human. We're kind of coming into this, and this feels like a fertile process of welcoming this in. Now, the card that came out in relation to the Ace of Crystals of what is this looking like externally was the Six of Swords, which again just reaffirms like, moving away from that which doesn't serve, seeking not necessarily higher ground, but seeking more neutral ground, this feels like a choice of self-preservation, and being guided by spirit simultaneously. Okay, so for the shared energies, what I get is the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords. Okay, we've got a lot of swords energy here, so I really feel like we're cutting through mental constructs at this point. So it's really being mindful of the thoughts, being mindful of what it is that you're putting out as these things. I know for myself, I've had to catch some of these lower vibrational thought forms of like, oh boy, like I do feel really low when this happens, and I do feel like it attributes to my worth, but really it's their ability to be ready or not. So the Four of Swords, when I see this card, to me it always feels like a card of collaboration, of working together. There's also a component of, the elemental forces, the directions, kind of all at large. So I feel like this is the shared union card, is like, the masculine might still be unconsciously acting out this behavior, so the divine feminine really steps into her power so that this shit doesn't happen anymore. We can't continue forward on Earth by continuing to enable patterns of war, right? Of patterns of violent protest, patterns of withdrawal. We really need to move to a spot where we're working on nonviolent communication, where we are actively increasing our ability to be receptive with one another. So, it stopped at 4:02. I was like, is this even still recording? Things are weird today. Alright, so Two of Swords. Now, this card has come up. I've seen it with other readers coming up a lot lately, too. The twos are about balance and harmony. She's even got some scales tattooed onto her arm. Okay, what I like about this card, it's like there's something that we're still not seeing. There's something still at play. Now, I do feel for the masculine component is he's doing work in the physical realms that he's not including the feminine in. Like he knows that he has to do it for his work because we have been holding it for a long time, and he does need to do it on its own. And he's not able to share that process for whatever reason, right? I say it could just be your beloved counterpart. It could be just your own dance with yourself. I like to reiterate that, these online readings are very general, not because I am talking about the collective, and I'm talking about themes that not only I see in my own life presenting, but also themes that have been brought forward and to my attention for other people. And there is just a lot of this pause right now, and I do feel like, especially with these cards together, it's just like, yeah, this is taking us somewhere that we can't see. We don't know. We're still having to kind of be in blind faith that this process is about something, and hopefully it's about the something that's bringing us to our greater heart desires. So what I like also about this card is she's smirking. Like it almost feels like it's a fun game that she's playing in an involved one right now. Now, when Nutmeg was crawling all over my lap, she knocked over a couple of the cards on the ground. And what happened was this card, which I had already drawn, fell flat on the ground, and then this card fell flat on top of it, okay? So I feel like it was a clarification card for this one. So this card, is where is this taking us externally? How is this related to the beloved counterpart? And we got the Ten of Cups, and this is a card of happiness, of family, of people coming together. This is another affirmation of the rainbow connection getting woven together. So Nutmeg and her little divinity, brought us this very clear message of to not give up hope, to keep holding it in, to trust that your rainbow connection is coming. The lovers, the dreamers in me. And I was just listening to that song last night because I was just like, man, Kermit the Frog, what a philosopher. He really was holding it down in so many ways. But in that song, it's just like somebody thought of it and somebody believed it. And the thing is, the more, we use this sword energy to redirect our thoughts towards the outcomes that we want while being present and real. I think for myself anyway, that just like total like alignment of like, it's happening, like it is happening, yes, but that doesn't mean we need to be somewhere else. We can be in the energies of the moment. And because sometimes the energy of the moment is in clearing that stuff is what allows us to go to where we're going. But somebody thought of it and somebody believed it, right? This is the rainbow connection. Here we go. They're thinking of it. I think that's really what this card is about. The beloved other in relation, they are thinking about it. They're working to cultivate it, and they're doing foundational work that we might not be able to see, feel, or talk about. And it's hard to always hold the feeling when we're not sure where it is going. So this message is still very positive, as most of them have been lately. I know that a lot of us are still seeing kind of a disconnect between what the cards say and what we get in our guidance and our dreams and the 3D world. But I do feel that now with Pluto going direct and a lot of the other astrological stuff going on, like we're going to be seeing more and more of this 10 of Cups energy. So my prayer for myself, my prayer for all of you is really to keep holding it down to the best of your ability, and being in the love, finding the connection, who are the reciprocal relationships, the other divine feminine that you can talk about with this stuff from a place of love. So, Nutmeg, do you have any final words? I don't think so. So thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful, and many blessings on your journey. Aho.